Welcome to the best hour of their day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez.
And me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
As both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day.
All right, everybody, if you're near the tent, John Wooley, make Wods great again.
Make Wods great again.
True or false, you are funnier than memes for time, Rod Lopez.
Oh, absolutely false. He's the funniest guy in CrossFit.
Is that true?
Yeah, mostly just his hair. I mean, it's the hair. Look at that.
Have you considered a reverse mullet in your
I
case?
could grow a skullet.
Skullet?
Yeah, it's great.
Because you're going all in on the CrossFit look. You got the Noble.
Yeah,
you got fresh ink. Let us see this fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, is this fresh?
Yeah, I saw him post them. I saw you mention it was like your daughters.
Yep.
The triangles are look at your triceps.
Yep, exactly.
That's good.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
I'd wanted one forever. Like I'm 52.
You're not too old to get a tattoo?
And I was afraid my skin might be too thin. But I'd wanted one forever, but I was waiting for the right moment and needed the right idea. And I was also like, I wanted it to represent my kids, but they were still in the house, and I felt weird getting a tattoo that someone who was living with you,
I got my daughter's name, but
No,
Yeah.
that's not for the games?
It is for the. It's weird that they're leaving Madison. I got to cover it up.
Well,
So were they proud? What was that like for them at their age?
yeah, they love it. No, they love it. But yeah, I'm kind of empty nesting. Like one's off to college, the other one's, got growing up and moving on, and so it's like, all right, it was time.
You're no longer married to their mom.
No. We've been divorced for
So were you like, hey,
17, 18
your
years.
mom wouldn't get a tattoo of you, I love you more?
Oh, well, they already knew that. yeah, they already know who the coolest is.
So we, before every show we were prepping a little bit, and you've been in the CrossFit space years now.
Yeah,
when did you start?
2012, 2011.
Okay, so
something like that.
right before we kind of hit
my
that
first
peak.
open was the 7 minutes of burpees.
That's
yeah,
the second open, I think.
Yeah, it was 2012.
Are you sure?
2012.
Yeah.
Team.
I thought it was 11, but you're probably right.
And then you were originally at the Panchik's box.
Actually, no. So I was originally, Scott was at that box, but it wasn't his box.
It wasn't his box.
Gotcha.
So it was CrossFit Distinction, which was kind of the first CrossFit gym on the east side of Cleveland at the time. Really small membership. Scott came in. It was his first trip to the games. And he came in and started training with my coaches. Julie Fouché was training there at the same time.
Really?
So you got to keep in mind, this is a true story. I would come to the gym. We only had about 50 members total.
Okay.
So I would get there in the afternoon. There'd be 5 people there. I'd walk in the door. It'd be Scott Panchik, shirt off. My coach, Travis Page, who finished second in the Masters division here at the games.
This year?
No, it's
No,
It's not over yet.
yeah, it's a few years back. Shirt off, ripped. Julie Fouché.
Shirt off?
Yeah. Well, sports bra.
Gotcha.
But again, ripped. It was
Gotcha.
the year she finished like second at the games.
Yeah.
Kind of fit.
And a couple other people they were kind of at that same level. So I just thought this was normal. I thought everyone was like Scott Panchik, and I'm like,
And you stuck around. Did you get delusional? Like I'm like this too?
I would come in wearing a turtleneck. like I didn't want anybody. I'm not taking my shirt off. Like
Sweatpants.
Do I have to take my shirt off? Because if
Yeah.
so,
Gloves for no
you
reason.
got to keep in mind, like I had never been in fitness before, so
this is your first endeavor into exercise.
I started at 40, and so I would come in and we'd be doing handstand push-ups, and I'm like squeaking out one with 3 or 4
still really
ab
good.
mats, and
At
Julie
40?
would come over and flip over and knock out 10 or 15 and run to do the next thing, and I'm just like, getting
like you.
emasculated every time I walk in the door. It was great.
What was the impetus for you beginning CrossFit at 40? The divorce?
Maybe. So I'd been doing P90X.
Okay.
And I thought I was the fittest man on the planet. I'm like, I can do pull-ups and push-ups, so I'm super fit.
You did ring rows, not.
Yeah. And so this buddy of mine goes, hey, you want to come try CrossFit? We just opened a gym. And he's like, it's like P90X on steroids, which is really ironic looking back on it. And I'm like, sure, I'll try it. How hard could it be? It can't be that hard.
Famous
right?
last words.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm going to show these guys how fit I am. So in order to do it the right way.
And then lo and behold, you walk into that gym.
Oh, yeah. Well, here's what I walked into. So I walk in Saturday morning, probably a little hungover, did not eat breakfast.
I love it.
Very
At
smartly,
40.
hungover and no food.
All
at
sorts
40.
of good life decisions happening right here.
Telling myself, I'm going to show these guys how fit I am. So here was the intro workout. It's miserable. And you need to both go do it.
Let's do it.
At some point. So it's 3 rounds for time.
I'm out.
10 thrusters at 95 pounds, 20 burpees, 100-foot walking lunge, overhead walking lunge.
This is not their intro workout. This is just your first workout.
This is their intro
We
workout.
got to talk to these
What
people.
box is it? Are they
what's
closed
happening?
now?
No, they're
Have
very
any-
successful.
Have people died there?
Yeah. So
Wait, was that it though? It ended with the 30 walking lunges?
It was a 100-foot, so 30
Walking lunge.
overhead walking lunge
With a barbell?
45-pound plate.
Okay.
So now I
Like a
scaled it.
95-pound thrust.
I scaled this thing. I want you to keep in mind, I scaled it. So, but the coach is like, I'm like, what's a burpee? Because I've never heard of it. She's like, oh, it's like a push-up. Now, keep in mind, I've been doing P90X. So I'm like, I'm going to show this woman what
no
is
idea.
up with my
You're going to want to
burpees.
take notes.
So I come out and I do the 10 thrusters.
At
And
what weight do you remember that?
65 pounds.
Okay.
Did you do them unbroken?
Of course.
First round, Fern.
course.
First round.
And, and for those that are initiated, the first 10 you don't feel for a bit.
Yeah.
You don't feel them right away.
Don't feel them at all.
And so then I come out and I do 20 burpees as fast as I can do them.
Smart move.
And then I stand up and I'm like, what is happening? I can't do the next thing, right? And so
My
at some
body's not
point, I walk over to the door and I'm literally holding onto the door frame and she's yelling from across the gym, don't go home, And I'm like trying to not puke. Anyway, this workout that should have taken me, which I could do today at this age, probably 12 minutes, took me 33 minutes.
Let's not get crazy. Not 12 minutes. Maybe 15.
No, I could do it in 12 now. I could absolutely do it in 12 now.
He proved it
All
to
right, bring out the
himself.
barbell. Let's see. Let's see.
It's right there. It's right there.
But
There's
you
a
gotta
gym
keep in mind-
60 feet from here.
But here's the thing, I'm wired like a CrossFitter, right? So because it destroyed me so bad, I'm like,
I want
I'm
more.
one of those people that nothing's going to beat me. I'm going to be good at anything I try, which is why I still do this, because I'm not good at CrossFit. But I've told myself so many times I will beat this workout. And so I've done it a dozen times
You do it
now.
at 95 now?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And
like,
the
it's- Yeah, now I would do it pretty much unbroken.
I mean, I
and
do
like
think you joke a lot about it, but you're 52, 53 now?
52, yeah.
50, you are a fit dude. No, I mean,
Yeah,
seriously,
I
like,
get it.
it's easy, like, as we get older, I'm 45,
Yeah.
like, you're still hanging on to your youth, but you forget, I mean, not even just compared to other 52-year-olds, compared to most of the, yes, it's hard to remember that when we're at the CrossFit games.
He's the example that we give in the What is Fitness lecture when we get to the...
Still going up.
Yeah, when we're
Yeah.
talking about, like, hey, this is you at 30, this is you at 50. It is possible to come in at
'Cause
this
you're-
and be fitter
Yeah.
decades later.
You're
and that's
fitter
you.
than ever at 52.
Yeah, and still improving. That's the crazy thing. Like
That's awesome.
I am continuing to find ways to tweak and enhance what I'm doing to continue to set PRs. Now you have to give up some. Personally,
For sure,
like,
yeah.
I think there's Coach Glassman said this, so that there's a 10-year window where you're just going to improve, and at some point that does stop.
You just hold it.
It slows down.
It
it
slows down.
down.
Definitely
yeah.
slows down. And I think you have to give up some things. Like an example for me is I used to. There was one point in this 10 years where I became a really good runner, like running 7-minute miles without trying that hard. I'm not even close to that now. Like, and I have no desire to do that now. So
But you could if you wanted to.
once.
Yeah.
Once.
Let's listen.
Hey,
If
it's
you
more
have
than I
to,
can.
if you have to,
Yeah.
all you need is once.
But I couldn't go do 5 miles at 7 minutes per mile.
Well, that's
which
a
is what I
different.
could
That's a
do
different
now.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so my point is like I've given that up a little to have more longevity, to be able to work out 6 days a week instead of 4. And
Well, but I think that's an important point. That is how it works.
Yeah.
Like that's the healthy version of that. Like he works out. Actually, never. I work out less. I work out much less
Right.
than I do. But am I as fit as I could be? No, but I'm still pretty fit.
Yeah.
And you always know you're just 1 or 2 weeks away of that consistency
Right, yeah.
from bringing it back in.
Right. Why do
So-
you hate Dave Castro?
oh, I love Dave Castro.
Do you have a relationship?
He blocked me. Let's
Wait, did he really block you?
yes.
That's
Come
why.
on,
That's
you've
why I
gotta
brought
know
it up.
this.
That's
Yeah,
I did not know that it was.
Oh, I've been blocked, and truthfully, I'm glad. It's great fodder for the page, so I'm happy it happened. I love him. I think he's a great programmer. I think he's a great coach.
Careful, you're going to get unblocked.
No, I'm not looking to be him. I'll insult him later. Great coach. Obviously great for the community. Loves the community. So I have no complaints.
No.
I mean, I can complain like any other athlete can. Like some of the workouts he programs are just ridiculous. But
I think I don't know anybody that hasn't programmed a ridiculous workout before.
yeah, and look, I complain about everything anyway, so that's more on me than him.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
We'll let him know.
Yeah.
We'll let him know.
So you make Wods great again, still growing every day?
Every day.
How did you get into that?
It's ridiculous. The whole thing is so ridiculous.
You got to be like, you're like I want to say banker, but you're in finance.
I'm a banker.
Right? Banker,
yeah.
is it?
Yeah. The page grows at a rate of 70 to 100,000 a year, give or take.
That's wild. What do you have now? What's your current?
Depends if you look at the entire platform. On Instagram, it's like, I don't even know. I'd have to look. 440 almost, like 438 maybe,
Okay.
So you'd be
439.
close to 500,000 by the end of the year.
Well, I've got another 67 or 57,000 on Facebook, so it is at 500,000. And there's
Gotcha.
another 30,000 on Threads and 15,000 on Twitter. And
How long were you on Threads? About 5 minutes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, actually, I was one of the first.
You're doing a good job on Threads. I see your stuff.
I've got like low digits. I'm like the first 500,000 in.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, so
Because it was like 10
I was in
or
quick.
like a couple, like 30 or 40 million, like right off the gate.
Yeah, and you pick up, like, I didn't do anything to earn those followers. They just came over from Make
Right.
Great Again. So it's fine. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to watch the page continue to grow and connect to people and learn what other people do,
How much interaction do you do in the DMs? Is that just a shit show?
All of it. Yeah.
Are you you don't have a team yet or anything from?
Nope, just me. I still
That's
answer almost
impressive.
every DM that comes in if there's an actual question asked.
Right.
Or if they have an opinion on something, if it's a death threat. I don't always answer those, but occasionally I will.
Send flowers to this address.
How do you stay so creative 5, 6, 7 years in?
It's only like 4 years, believe it or not.
Well, even still, I mean,
yeah.
you're constantly putting out. I mean, yes, every other post of yours is the assault bike sucks.
Yeah.
But but you do have a wide
Yeah.
variety beyond that.
Well, I've got wicked ADHD and I drink a lot of coffee, and that combination really gets the brain firing. I find what works for me. Like I have.
You strike me as a guy who's always been like a high degree of dry humor, like sarcasm, which is like
Class clown.
Yeah, like in the meeting, somebody's just like, "Was that sarcasm?
Yeah.
Did he just insult me and I'm not aware of it?"
I've had that for sure. I think the thing that I have is I do a lot of observational humor.
Okay.
If you really look at the page and really pay attention, it's really my autobiography. Almost everything that's on there is something that's happened to me at some point.
Oh, you can tell. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
he's actually complaining via this like little meme.
Yeah, and so it comes from like watching the crowd and watching what's going on in the gym, and you see things happen, and I just use that because I figure if it's happened to me, it's happened to you.
High likelihood.
Like that intro workout I've been talking about. Like everyone laughs at that story because
they
everyone,
understand it,
when they
yeah.
started, did burpees really fast before they realized that's a really stupid thing to do.
Strategically unsound.
Yeah, but you don't know that the first time, and it's funny looking back on it.
Oh, yeah, it's
and,
the worst.
You think of all the things that go on in the gym. We've all seen the same dumb stuff over and over. Like an example of that, that doesn't happen to males, but kind of an easy joke to make is, women that have kids, a lot of them can't do double unders after because they have a
they'll
leaking
pee,
problem.
yep.
And there's it's like a long-standing joke in the community amongst
100% it's a long-standing
a
joke.
lot of these classes.
Yeah. I mean, I've had many of those scenarios inside the gym.
Yeah, so it's observational humor, and it's that relatability that people connect to. And,
Right.
So the goal for me is always, if I can create something that you'll take and go, oh, this reminds me of you, and I'm going to send it to you. Here's a funny story. Fluffy Duck, Josh.
Yeah, Josh is funny.
Josh sent me a message the other day. It was a CEO of one of these social media of Instagram, and he's saying that all the actual teams that work for Instagram work in the DM section, and they work to share stuff. That what goes in your page, people don't see as much. It's what gets shared. And I'm like, Josh, I've been telling you this for years, buddy. This is why I'm growing and you're not. Like, it's all about sharing.
Right.
Like, I don't care how many likes a page gets.
Right.
I say that with love for Josh, by the way. He's growing in other places, but that we shouldn't talk about that on the air. But the trick is to get your stuff shared. If you put a post up and it gets 10,000 likes, who cares?
And it's the same 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Not new people.
I want 10,000 shares because those are 10,000 people that don't follow you.
Right.
Which is your biggest shared post?
I have no idea at this point. I've had.
What's a good number? What's wow, that was a lot of shares.
I don't know, 30 million.
You've had 30 million on one post?
Yeah.
Do you remember what that was?
not really.
I love that you don't care.
Sometimes they just blow up, and like you don't even notice it. Like I had a moment where I had 3 or 4 blew up at once, and like I looked at the page one day and I gained like 1,000 followers in a day, and I had no idea why. And I'm like, where is this coming from? And I go back, and it was some post I had done like a month earlier, just all of a sudden took off.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just get an algorithm. And
You know what I love with this whole thing? Like this massive Instagram page that's based on satire and basically being sarcastic is by a 50-year-old banker.
Oh, trust me, it's weird to me too. It's definitely weird to me too.
I mean, it's a complete, like, when you're 40 starting CrossFit, I'm positive you were never like, when one day, right?
Well,
everyone's going to recognize me at the CrossFit Games for being funny.
Well, no, well, the funny thing is when I started, about 4 years in, I started a blog, and it was moderately successful and doing pretty well, and I had a Twitter page that was doing okay. But it was nothing like what I'm doing now. I was mostly just telling my story of CrossFit, and I didn't envision any of this. And at some point, one of my daughters said to me, they're like, hey, you need a meme page. You're really funny. And
That's cool that your kids thought you were funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
They probably just wanted something, you know.
Dad, at least get us free Nobles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Can I have a car?
So I hand my phone to my oldest. I'm like, okay, start the page. And she created it for me. She did the first post. I told her what to do.
You quickly fired her.
No, well,
Got it
and
better.
so she said to me, she's like, listen, you know what's not funny is to do memes with captions. You just need to do photos and make the content in the post. I'm like, baby girl, CrossFitters are not that quick, all right? Like, we're visual people. We just it needs to be fast. We need to see quick captions, you know? And
That's interesting that you already, like you hadn't even started this whole thing and you were already aware of that.
yeah, well, I think it's where the observational thing comes in. And then it didn't take off for a while because it took me a while to figure out what the trends were. Like,
What's a while?
well, it didn't do anything for about 6 months, and that's because I didn't do a lot with it. And then it got shared on, actually, at the CrossFit Games at regionals. Caleb Banfield shared one of my posts, and it got like 1,000 follows like that, just like almost immediately. And so then I started paying attention to like what was really happening. And so I started asking my kids, I'm like, hey, what would happen if I did this? And one of them was like, look, just start tagging people, they'll see it. And I'm like, no one's going to see my stuff. And they're like, trust us, just tag them. So I did a post about Rich Froning, and I tagged him, and he commented. And it was off to the races past that, because I'm like, all right, if the fittest man on earth noticed what I did, everyone will notice. And so I started tagging everybody. And like I started, I wasn't mean to anyone, but I started really hammering away at the popular athletes. I would literally look to see who had the most followers and say, all right, I'm going to make a joke about this person. I don't do any of this anymore, by the way, but I did it those days to like kind of figure out.
That's how you start your growth, yeah.
Yeah, and so what I figured out then from doing that, like they would share stuff, and then I started seeing gyms, entire gyms following. So
Probably their owner shared it.
Yeah, so like Marquand Jones, who's a good friend now, he has CrossFit Roseland in New Jersey. His entire gym started following me. And I started picking up on it because I would see them in the comments, and I would go look to see who they were commenting to and where they went. I'm like, same gym, same gym, same gym, same gym. And that's where I was like, all right, this isn't about the athletes. This is about sharing to other
Community,
people,
yeah.
right? And what you really have to figure out, the real trick, I was talking about this today actually, is you have to make a joke offensive to both sides so they start sharing it back and forth.
That's what they say out there. It's like you have to toe that line because you have to get people that think it's funny, but also people that think it's bad.
It's got to be.
And get they both to share it.
You need them both to hate it.
Yeah.
So I was telling my friend this morning. Bill Burr told this joke, and like it struck me as like, this is it. He was like, if you want to piss everybody off, he's like, here's his joke. He's like, Trump is so dumb, he's going to make me vote for a woman. I'm like,
now everybody's mad.
Yeah, now everyone's mad. Hey, he goes, and then do nothing. Step back, watch it explode.
Yeah.
And he's right. Like, if you can get both sides fighting with each other, you're going to capture all of them.
Yeah.
That's a good...
It's just awareness. That's great.
Yeah.
So,
great.
outside of Dave, who else hates you?
He's the only one.
Has
really.
any famous athletes block
You have a
as
lot
well?
of you used to have a lot of Danny Spiegel stuff that you would put up there.
Danny's a close friend.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah. Danny's a good friend.
But have you like busted, obviously balls for men? I don't know what the expression is.
Let's not get canceled.
But like, and then they actually become your friend because they get like, that's our sense of humor. Like when I bust your balls, it's out of love.
I like you.
Yeah.
Well, so I've had moments like I pissed Tia off one time. She yelled at me in all caps. And by the
It was
way,
for real though.
but yeah, she was mad. Yeah, she was
Which post was
really
it?
mad. It was a long time ago, and I'm gonna preface the entire story that says I've talked to her several times since, and she is nothing but sweet and kind and like exactly the way you would want a games champion to be. Like she's really awesome.
She's amazing.
And I know Shane now, and like they're all great. However, so all I did was I did this post. I was attributing quotes to people. And it was, and it would say so and so probably. And so the one I was going to do for Tia, it wasn't even funny. Like I had a friend, an online friend who lived in Australia. And I'm like, hey, can you tell me how to say in Australian, hey, we're going to grill out and drink some beers later, right? And so he made this whole sentence that's just gibberish to Americans, but it makes total sense in Australian, like the way, the verbiage they use. And I put it over her picture and said, Tia Claire Toomey probably. And within seconds, I mean, like it was quick. I got a DM, all caps, do not attribute quotes to me. That's literally all it said. And I'm like, what the hell did I just say? Like what, and so I apologized quickly and I took the post down, And I'm like,
took it down?
Of course. I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings or make anybody feel bad. I'm not trying to cause drama for anyone. Like it's a meme page. Like I'm not curing cancer.
Not yet.
Well, not yet. You might be.
Yeah.
Maybe laughter cures cancer.
Laughter is the what do they say? Best medicine.
I'm doing a workout for Battle Cancer while I'm here in town. So
you going over to Mojo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just there yesterday.
He's great. Jay's runs it. Have you been there yet?
No, but
Fantastic
I'll be there
box.
Saturday.
Amazing
awesome.
looking box.
Yeah, he just opened about 6 months ago. He's crushing.
Yeah, but I'm not
really
curing cancer. I'm just working out for it.
Well, you're trying. You're trying.
Yeah, it's the effort.
So I'm not trying to create drama.
But speaking of affiliate ownership, you just opened a box.
I bought into a box.
Yeah, what was this all about?
Just fell in my lap.
Help us help you.
Well, I've wanted to do it for a long time. I've kind of always had in my mind that a goal is to own a box, be a part of gym ownership, but I needed it to be the kind of the perfect storm. Like I have a full-time job I've been doing for decades.
Which I'm still trying to figure out how you do that.
Yeah, well,
with all the meme work.
No, he doesn't do well. That's the thing.
You can't be a good banker.
How much money you want?
I know my boss doesn't listen to the show, or anyone else for that matter.
You'd be surprised.
So
we're big in the banking community.
Okay, good.
I think he just insulted us. We didn't catch it.
But
how dare you?
Yeah, so like I don't spend a lot of time, doing it.
I remember when we first spoke, you said you wake up every morning and pretty much write like 4 or 5 memes.
It depends on how fast my brain's working.
But is that still kind of the routine?
Yeah, I get up in the morning. I'll create anywhere from 4 to 10. Just like depends on, kind of the day. I have my day job during the day, and then I decided, to answer your question about the affiliate. I've kind of always wanted to do it, but it needed to be the right thing.
Right.
I didn't want to open one up from the ground because I knew I couldn't spend 40 hours a week there. I also didn't want to be an absentee owner, so I needed partners. I had been training at Chagrin Falls CrossFit with my now partner, Jen and Tom, my 2 partners. And one day I was texting Jen about something because we were just kind of always texting back and forth, and she didn't get back to me. And I messaged again. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, answer my message. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I've been at the bank all day. I'm trying to get some banking done. I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh, Jen, if you only knew someone in banking that could help you. Glad you didn't get back to me.
Very liberal with the loans.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh my God, I forgot you're in
Add
banking.
extra 0 on there.
And basically what it came down to was her partner at the time wanted out, and she was trying to get a business loan to buy him out. And I'm like, how much do you need? And she's like, why? I'm like, I might be interested. Let me see your books.
Meme money is...
Yeah, I got the meme millions coming in. And so I asked to see the books, and I'm like, I'll write you the check. Let's do it.
And that was it. You're part owner.
Yeah, and then we got together with Tom, who's my primary care physician and is Jen's partner in a separate business. I'm like, hey, we should include Tom, see if he wants in. And of course he did. And that was all she wrote.
Picture this. Your clients are coming into class and no longer feeling daunted by new movements or being intimidated because it's their first class. With Wodify, coaches can insert technique videos right into the Wodify mobile app so that clients can come to class gleaming with excitement instead of being freaked out and intimidated by things that they don't know how to do. Empower your clients with knowledge they need to thrive in their workouts while reducing the risk of injury. Give your clients a world-class workout experience from start to finish. Transform your gym's experience with Wodify. Visit wodify.com/podcast now and claim 50% off your first 3 months. elevate your gym, empower your clients, and stay steps ahead with Wodify.
So now the three of you, but you have much to do with the day-to-day interactions and.
I'm there a lot, so yes. Jen has run and owned for 8 years, so not a lot changed in that part.
This is Sugarland, CrossFit Sugarland.
Chagrin Falls.
Chagrin Falls.
Chagrin Falls. Yeah.
Close.
And
No.
Sugarland.
Samsonite.
He's
CrossFit
hungry.
Samsonite?
He's hungry.
Yeah.
The fat kid's hungry.
Yeah.
I am hungry.
Yeah, Jen's been running
Somebody
it
give
for
me a
8
snack.
years now or so. And so none of that was going to change. All of our coaches were in place, existing membership. We got 160 members, give
That's
or
awesome.
take.
Great.
Are you coaching?
No. That was not my plan from the beginning. I'm going to get my L1.
Oh, you've
And-
never done your level 1?
Not yet.
Oh, man.
When are you going?
Soon. Very soon.
Not
that's,
signed up.
That's kind
Not
of
signed up.
shocking that you have been in the community so long and haven't done your level
You're gonna
one.
have a whole new meme section.
Oh,
Trust
yeah.
me, I've had 3 or 4 moments where I was like about to sign up and then a trip will come up or I'll get called to do something. Like it just hasn't really worked out.
There's one in...
You're not signing me up while I'm on this show, dude.
Let's go right
no,
now.
it's
Level
done. I
one.
have the registration page.
Well, so like,
We get a commission if you sign up on
yeah.
the show.
So here's the kind of the way we have it structured. Like, Tom's the doctor, and so he handles.
Do you sometimes pretend to be the doctor?
All the time. Depends on who the person is, but yeah.
It's time for your...
You have a doctor, a banker. It's a
Yeah.
very high-end gym, yeah.
It's a good combo.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
really, like when you think about it, Jen is, our long-term coach who's been running that day-to-day operations. Tom handles kind of all our medical and nutritional advice for people, and I'm the banker. Like I don't let him do dumb shit when it comes to money.
That's cool.
I mean, I started telling him from day
He
one.
also
I'm
does
like,
the
listen,
prostate exams.
yeah, well, of course. No, like when we
smell your
started, when we came in, I'm like, listen, guys, like kind of the first thing they wanted to do as a group, like, so let's buy new equipment. I'm like, as the banker in the room, I'm going to tell you we're going into a recession.
Right.
And high inflation. Right now is not the time to go buy a bunch of equipment. Let's
Right.
clean up the stuff we have. Let's grow our membership and, handle some of the financial stuff. So it's a good partnership. And then, my other, if you want to call it expertise, is I've got 12 years under some of the best coaching in CrossFit. I come in with just open vision of the way things should look. And so I'll come in, like as an example, I attend classes like a member. I'll let the coaches coach me like I'm anyone else in the room. And then I'll get feedback to Jen and say, hey, Jen, the class I was in today, they were facilitating, not coaching.
Ooh, I like that.
or-
I love that you're doing that.
Yeah, that's great.
Or,
That's
like,
12 years of experience taking classes.
yeah. Or, like I'll see someone struggling in a certain area and I'll go to the coach and go, hey, Susie, member over here struggling with the row. Can you go give her tips, and push them toward that. Because for me, like being passionate about CrossFit, the beauty of CrossFit is in the coaching,
Right.
not in the program. I mean, programming's great and community's great, and I love those things. But if you don't have good coaching, what are you really doing? And
Amen, brother.
You know,
Amen. That's
so-
literally our
You're-
whole
you're
mission in
preaching
life,
to the
honestly.
crowd, yeah.
yeah, so that's what I think I bring is just kind of a fresh set of eyes and discussion around what we want to do.
Do you want to coach at all?
I will. Yeah.
Once
I
you do
will.
level one.
Yeah, I mean, I'll really be like a fill-in coach more than anything else.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
I mean,
gonna.
you're-
I can't
Is there
add one more job
kid in
to
here?
my 5 jobs.
I
as
thought that
it
was
is.
you crying.
You hear that, kid?
Yes.
It's over here
All right.
somewhere.
It's like carrying.
Yeah. I can't do more jobs than I'm already doing.
You're gonna have I think as you start coaching, I think you're gonna have a whole lot more content though, because you're gonna be
Oh,
able to
yeah.
look at it from a different angle.
Yeah, and I've certainly seen that as I watch our coaches and what they deal with. Especially if they have to deal with me on more than one occasion.
It's different when it's you, though. You're like, you see it through a whole different lens.
Yeah.
I've coached a little, not like a class. Like during the Open, we have 2 classes of adaptive athletes. They're mostly Down syndrome and autism.
Okay.
And so it's about 30 athletes. And so during the Open,
And they come in twice a week, is what you're saying?
Yep. And they're great, really great. And, we coach them when they come in, they do the onboard, they have their own classes, and then they eventually graduate.
And take classes?
Yeah. And they get real programming. They get the same workouts
Yeah.
we get, the exact same workouts, and then it just gets scaled to whatever their impairment is. And eventually they graduate to the classes. And so during the Open, I would coach some of those athletes because we needed extra people to do it.
That's cool.
And they're the best ones to coach because it doesn't matter what you tell them, they'll do it, you know? Swear to God. I mean, like, thank God I actually know what I'm doing. Otherwise,
Right.
I'd have them doing really stupid things, you know? But, like, I'll give you an example. One was this woman was doing knee raises, and she had autism. And so she's doing knee raises, and when she'd bring her feet down and put them on the floor, she'd leave her arms hanging. Right, she'd never take her arms off the bar, and so
Wasting a lot of
I'm like, hey,
Just let go.
I'm like, every time you rest, let go of the bar and bring them down, and, you know, shake your hands out, and she'd just go, okay, and she'd just start doing it. That's exactly the way she'd say it to me too. Okay, everything I tell her, okay, you know. And as a coach, you love that
That's awesome.
because they don't,
amazing.
you know, they don't.
How did
look-
you get that? How did you start
Yeah.
that class start? That's cool.
Oh, so it's really great actually. This is all Jen again. Both classes are run under grant by local
Okay.
counties. So we sit on the border of 2 counties. So Cuyahoga County and Geauga County give us grants to run these classes. So we're getting paid to coach adaptive athletes who come in, and we're changing their lives. Like, it's really...
That's really awesome.
No,
I
that's
mean,
really
if
cool.
you wanna-
There's
you
a
wa-
lot more of that, and the gyms should look into
Yeah.
that a lot more.
So
There's a little bit of red tape
huge-
there, but
But it's I mean,
Huge
whether or
benefit.
not you're doing it via grant, you can still have a special class on the schedule
Oh.
for that.
If you want to find the fastest way to burst into tears, go coach one of these classes.
Oh,
because
And you make a difference in their lives, and whether it's their parents or caregivers paying for it,
Dude.
they're gonna be like,
Well, we have
Let's
this.
sign us up.
Here's an example of that. One of these athletes, she comes in every, you know, once or twice a week, and when she'll come in, she'll go, "Hey, what'd you have for dinner last night?" That's always her question, and you tell her whatever you had, and she'll go, "I had mac and cheese,
Oh,
or I had
I like
peanut
her
butter
already,
and jelly." You know, she'd like tell you that. Now, when she comes in, she'll go, "I had baked salmon and rice."
oh, that's awesome.
wow,
And you know, she's noticeably thinner than when she started, and you know,
That's a big deal.
When you think about that, not only have you changed that athlete's life, but she has a caregiver. And if you guys have kids, like when you're cooking
Yeah,
for kids,
yeah.
you're eating what your kids have.
Correct.
You're not
For sure.
cooking 2 different meals, right?
especially those caregivers, like often aren't getting paid a lot.
Yep. And so now you're changing their lives and the entire family's lives.
That's awesome.
That's really
We have
cool.
I wish I could think that we have a client. Is it Boucher that runs a program for the Special Olympics? Olympic lifting.
It might be.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
that-
Candy. I don't remember, but yeah.
yeah. I just that's all. I mean, I did my master's
but those,
was in
those
that.
programs are out there, and it's just obviously it's like can be a little bit of a fine line to walk, which is like, hey, get your gym running right, and then you can start to really create some significant impact with these types of programs.
Well, what you find is like a lot of these athletes, it's bigger even than fitness. Like we have this one young woman who's nonverbal, and when she started, she'd have an iPad around her neck, and the only way she could talk to you is through the iPad. She wouldn't touch anyone. She couldn't.
Autism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she couldn't do burpees because she wouldn't touch the floor. Right. Now she does burpees. She hangs out in the classes. Like we do a competition once a quarter where you pair an impaired athlete with an able-bodied athlete, and they do an actual competition, 3 workouts.
That's
There's a
cool.
podium, and at the end of one of these events, she was the last one, but she's doing snatches, and literally everyone is around her screaming at the top of their lungs. This would have freaked her out
I'm
and like
sure.
probably made her burst into tears a year ago, and now she's smiling.
That's
and
amazing.
Cheering and like, you know, and you see her family members are looking at this like they never thought she would have a moment to be among able-bodied people doing the same thing,
Right.
having a fitness opportunity, you know, doing sports and athletics. I mean, it's like
improving her overall ability to navigate the world.
Yeah,
all
like
of that
real
stuff.
change,
That's,
too.
That's,
oh, it's
that's
amazing.
The,
I
that's
get
the good
chills
shit.
thinking about
That's
it.
the
Like
good
it's
shit.
like I love CrossFit and I love watching people get PRs, but when you can see that happen live and you realize, man, you changed her life, her family's life, forever.
Glassman
You
used
know?
to talk about that. He's like,
Yeah.
I remember him saying, I wouldn't cross the street to watch a 2-minute Fran, but I'd go help someone learn how to air squat.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. I mean, we get into this to help people, and then we forget there's massive demographics out there that are not being helped.
Yep.
And this is, I mean, every community has a group of people that could benefit from this.
Yeah, it's very cool, and it's you know, about the most rewarding thing I've been a part of. And you know, full disclosure, Jen is the hard work behind the gym.
You are, you're saying?
I'm definitely not. I am not the hard work
So you're
behind
saying
that
Jen
gym.
doesn't really do much.
Jen does a very good job, and you know,
Freeloader
is
is, I think, the
crazy
term.
passionate about all
Your
of
words,
this.
not ours.
You know, I give them a lot of ideas of things I think would be cool, but you know, this has been her baby from the beginning,
that's
and,
awesome.
and she's
Shout
changed
out.
a lot of lives.
Shout out to Jen. We should get her on at some point to talk
Yeah.
even more about it. When going into affiliate ownership, what's something you've realized now that you had no idea about went into it, like when you were with the Pan Chicks or when you were with another affiliate?
Oh, I don't know if I didn't have any idea about it, but people do look at you differently when you're the owner than when you're just another member. Like, you can't come in and just go do your own thing without people giving you the side eye. So you do have to come in and do some glad handing and talking to people.
Even as, like, do they know you're an owner?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Even though you're primarily like an investor role.
Yeah.
But once you start coaching, I think you're going to see that escalate.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they all know, and I'm there a lot, It's
What's a lot if you're working 9 to 5?
They're 5 days a week.
5 days.
Oh, just every day?
I mean, I work out 6 days a week as it is, and I try to get to Sugar and Falls CrossFit 4 or 5 days a week. I'm there every Saturday and Sunday guaranteed, and then I got to get there 2 to 3 times during the week. You got to stay fit,
Yeah.
So I don't know if any of that was revelatory to me. It was just, I knew I needed to be involved and do it. Probably the other thing that was different to me is like my biggest physical change in CrossFit personally has happened in the last 12 months. Coincides completely with owning the gym.
Tattoo?
All of it. No, like my body comp changes.
What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, what was that? That's usually the opposite.
Well, Tom's my doctor. Jen's my nutritionist. Every coach in the building trains with me 5 days a week. Every single one are fitter than me by a lot. Like, it's not even close, And so I come in last every time, but I'm being trained and working out with people fitter, faster, stronger.
A little bit of chasing the rabbit a little bit.
Yeah, and it isn't just chasing the rabbit, though. It's like when you got to go in and do something hard tomorrow, I'm not going to stay up till midnight. I go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock. And I'm also not going to eat a pizza and drink half a bottle of vodka.
Right.
I'm going to eat chicken and rice and have a quarter bottle of vodka. It's like I'm just going to live a healthier, better life.
Yeah. This is the whole community thing. We all kind of spouted a little bit too much, but like that tribe is important because peer pressure is a real thing.
Yeah.
Having to show up and like not be a bag of ass is important.
And it's also like self-inflicted pressure, right? Like,
right.
I do want to get better. And now, especially as an owner, and I think more so if you start coaching, like, I better lead by example.
Look, I have a killer home gym. I mean, it's amazing. And I half-ass that thing every time I walk into it.
Oh, yeah.
But when I go to the gym, go to my affiliate, I can't. I have to work hard because people are watching me, for one. And, like, I want to show up for them and for me. I want to be fit. And there's, the camaraderie of the community and, to your point, the tribe. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. So, I don't know. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but it certainly made a big change in my life, for sure.
Do you ever still stay up late, though, once in a while? You have a meme idea? And
Yeah,
you're like,
every once in a while.
Kept me up?
Look, I tell everybody the same thing. Like, the changes that happen physically, there isn't one thing that does it. It's like 100 things. In all honesty, it's like 15 to 20 things that I had to change to get one big change. And so staying up late every once in a while is like one of those 15 to 20 things. You can do it occasionally. It's kind of like this. It's like this week in Madison.
It's like a cheat meal.
Here's the thing I've been telling people recently. You want to unlock the biggest door in your fitness, the biggest one possible. We'll give you one thing. Nope, that's a big one, a really big one. But if you want to unlock a gigantic door in fitness that you may not be willing to do, quit drinking alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
People like
Fern's unwilling, but I agree with him. He agrees with you, but he's unwilling.
I disagree.
And most people
he's drunk right now.
Most people will, and I don't blame them.
No, I don't. I could probably not agree more on that.
It messes up your sleep. It's extra calories. You go in tired.
Your body has to work harder to process it. So now, while your body's busy processing this poison you're putting in it, it's not processing the protein and carbs and everything you're feeding it as efficiently as it could.
So how often are you drinking these days?
Well, this week a lot.
Are you chilling out, relaxing though, games week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had plenty to drink last night. I will have plenty tonight.
Are you still throwing out 4 or 5 memes a day while you're here?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Any good ones today? Haven't been on the old internet today.
No, there's no good ones today. I had one.
I figured it would be at least one from that bike event.
Yeah, I had 1 or 2 good ones. I haven't even seen the bike event, so I'll create some little later. But the drinking question, when I'm home, none.
Zero. Like
zero.
Not even a Saturday night?
I order
a little date night going on? You find a new you're on Tinder?
I order Brewdog, which is a beer out of Columbus, Ohio. They have a great non-alcoholic beer, and it's 20 calories a can, and I pound that
Satisfies
stuff. It's great.
The need? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'll drink a lot of NA beer, and I feel great. And then when I'm at an event like this, I don't care so much.
I think that's the whole point of like the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum.
Yeah.
We talk about it. Like, that's your hedge.
Yeah.
Like, I do all this shit 51 weeks a year.
You don't want to not enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fun.
I mean, I don't enjoy my
And don't
life.
get me
I
wrong,
get it.
like, so if an event comes up and I'm there, I might have a drink there. That's fine. Like,
Yeah.
and if you don't drink, that's fine too. Like, no one should be peer pressured to do it or not do it, I guess. For me, I just found like once I gave it up, all of a sudden, like things started really clicking.
Can I ask you a question? Were you drinking a lot prior to that?
This is also an intervention, so yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say I was drinking a lot, but I was drinking socially like anybody else. You
He's
know,
a 52-year-old banker. He's probably drinking
Yeah.
a couple of nights a week, right?
No, yeah.
Going on dates. You meeting a lot of ladies.
Two or
2 or 3 nights a
two
week.
or three nights a week,
Are
probably.
you going on
so-
a lot of dates, John?
And so if you, all the time.
we got some listeners.
Yeah.
If you're
What's his
interested.
name?
Yeah, very cute. So the point is like, you know, if you drink, let's just say 2 nights a week, which wouldn't be uncommon,
Right.
Right.
25%,
And you're
yeah.
training 5 days a week.
It's a big deal.
You're impacting at least 2 of
It's a
them.
huge deal.
At least 2 of them, and you're probably impacting more like 3 or 4 because
Oh, yeah,
it
it's
takes
not
a couple
one
of days
day,
to get
yeah.
past it. You know.
No, I mean,
Well, I think the big component, that's a 2-for-1 habit, meaning
Yeah.
like I'm going to drink that, so there's all the physiological components that you already addressed, and then the sleep. And the sleep has
yeah.
way many
Oh.
more things, like cortisol levels go up. I mean, it's a waterfall of
Yeah.
shitty stuff that you don't want. And I think that's one of the biggest things is like, it's not just alcohol. That alcohol impacts your sleep, which then impacts your functionality the next day. So I'm not even getting the ROI on the training session
Right.
that I was looking for.
No,
but
that was a big reason look, I know you joke around. I don't drink, not because I don't want to, but exactly for this
Yeah.
reason. So I'm like, it's just not worth feeling crappy. And with 2 young kids now, it's like they're still getting up at 6 in the morning.
I'll throw down, but like
Not
at home,
far less than you,
At
yeah.
home, I mean, almost never.
This past Tuesday,
Almost never.
you were-
Friends were in town.
so friends coming down.
During Wadapalooza this year, I went down to compete in the gauntlet, and Jen and Tom were with me. And I had not drank for 90 days leading into that. And then
Okay.
the entire week of Wadapalooza, I was up late and drinking. And Tom's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing a scientific study, bro. Like, I'm
die?
doing a scientific study on the effects of alcohol on sleep." He's like, "How's that going?" I'm like, "I'm 5 for 5. 5 for 5. It sucks."
My hypothesis was correct.
Yes, it completely
Terrible,
was.
terrible idea.
Yeah, it completely was.
All right, so you're signing up for that level 1 in Columbus. They have them
there all
rogue
the
all
time.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do one soon. Trust me, it's on the it's a high priority for me. But
No, I think, look, whether or not you ever coach consistently,
Yeah.
I think everybody that's part owner of an affiliate should have the. Who were we talking to about this just yesterday?
Finish the statement, I'll tell you.
Well, just you should have the ability to coach because you can't determine what's good or bad coaching.
Yes. Yeah, I don't remember who we were talking about that, but yes, we were
Just-
talking
it was-
about
yes,
just,
feels like a blur,
just
but-
with regard to the knowledge. They're like, should I get this? And I'm like, yeah, you need to know what your coaches are doing and whether it's good or bad.
I think it might have been Marlo this morning.
It might have been, but yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you don't have to be the expert, but like, you should be fairly knowledgeable
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
of course.
thing, you know. So, and obviously, and I think you'll enjoy it more having been doing this for a decade, because most people, because we've both taught well over 200 level 1s, level 2s.
Right.
A lot of the common story is like, I started within a year, I'm like taking the level 1 and
Right.
then go. And I think there's a lot to be gained by like waiting. Like, I wasn't here to coach, and then I think you grasp it better. When you're like, oh, I just connected a lot of dots in this lecture. What is CrossFit? What is fitness?
Right.
Whatever. So, I think it's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it.
And in the meantime, keep putting out some high quality memes. That space has grown. You know, we just
Yeah.
had Rod on. There's plenty of others out there.
Are all of you guys like friends?
Yeah, is it a friendly community?
Well, you said high quality, and then you brought up Roderick. So I'm confused as to how we're really going.
It's a very different meme page, you and Rod.
Yeah, we do. We're all different. You know, I'm not sure I would call us a community. Some of them might. I mean, I know most of them.
We got you, who else? Fluffy Duck. I mean, Josh.
I know
is
Josh
awesome.
really well. Josh is a good friend.
He's very funny.
I just kind of came to know Roderick. He's great. Like, really funny guy. The others I like kind of know. Like, we'll talk from time to time. I mean, I'll give him a lot of credit. Here's what I love about that community. All of us got pissed off about this coverage for the age group thing, and we all went in on it without even talking about it. Every one of us just hammered this, and I'm like, man, I know there's somebody HQ that's like, well, these guys
Somebody
leave us
must
alone.
be seeing this,
like,
yeah.
They
You guys tagging CrossFit games when you do that?
all the time.
Yeah.
Well, they see it anyway. Like, and not to be
They're
mean,
not unaware.
but that's the thing I love about the community is that you can speak truth to power through memes.
I would argue that is maybe the primary means of doing that.
Well, it's certainly how it came about.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily use mine for that all the time. I have in this event.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
I think it's important to highlight things so people will start to pay attention.
Did you guys calm down and then it's going on ESPN? And you're like, all right, it's a little better now.
No, I made another one about the ESPN coverage.
What was wrong with the ESPN cover? We've literally seen zero
Yeah,
things.
I've not
since
seen
we've been
any
here.
of it.
Well, first of all, nothing changes. It's still the It's still the CrossFit stream.
The same.
It's just now just being pushed out by ESPN. So
got
the
it.
media itself isn't different. The only thing that's different now is you have to pay for ESPN Plus in order to do it. So hey, ESPN's doing it. Pay us $10 a month if you want to watch.
Oh, it's on ESPN Plus, not
Well,
on.
it's on the others. So there's like an exclusive part of this that will be on Plus. It's
It'll
going to
be
cost
streamed.
$10. I don't think that's a big deal, but of course I'm going to bring it up to create some drama. I think it's probably just ESPN going, hey, we need to generate some subscribers out of this, so we need
Right.
at least 1 or 2 hours where it's exclusive.
Yeah, or
on
Disney's
our-
going to sell us.
Yeah, on our paid platform,
So actually, fill us in. We have no idea. So I'd heard a lot of the bitching and moaning about the coverage, but
I've
what
not heard
was,
any.
I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of it. What was the gripe about the coverage?
Well, there was no coverage. That was
For the age groups.
or adaptive. So basically, what it was.
I thought they were streaming all of it.
Yeah, through a fixed camera from so it would be like.
So streaming, just it was not produced well, is what you're saying.
Yeah, so it would be like I set a camera here, and you're going to watch that restroom from 200 yards away. That's what the
And
camera
this
was
camera's
like.
not moving.
Yeah, and this camera's not going to move.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not a multi-camera setup. It's a one.
No, it's
oh,
one
okay.
camera. You can
Yeah,
literally
I
see
get
the
it.
field out here. It was like looking at little ants running around.
I get it.
And which you could have a lot of debate here. They put out a press release and said, "Hey, we're going to have coverage, and it's going to be a fixed camera." And when I saw that press release come through my email a couple of days ago, I was already getting meme ideas because I knew what that meant, and I think most people would have no idea what a fixed
Right.
camera meant. But I'm like, this is not going to end well.
Yeah.
And literally,
Like you're better off not streaming it at all.
yeah. So literally, the day it happens, I'm driving to get here, and I start getting DMs from people. Hey, have you seen this feed? And I look it up, and I'm like, oh, I got to pull over. I got to do something.
Did you make a meme right then and there on the road?
Yeah, yeah. I don't even think I pulled over. I was probably like one-handed.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about broadcast. I know it's not cheap, but I would imagine it's.
Meanwhile, we're recording.
What? Well, we're not broadcasting live anywhere, but
We're not live?
I don't think the cost is
Are we live?
cheap to do
Yeah,
the same
it's not
same
cheap.
type of production that they do for starting today, essentially.
It's not cheap. I did a whole YouTube video on it the following morning in my hotel, just thinking about it, and I don't think it's cheap. And I understand that you have to make hard decisions to do cost savings. My argument to this whole thing was like, look, if you want to grow affiliates, you need to get people to see themselves in others. The people that
You're
join
not wrong about that.
The people that
We
join
just-
affiliates
yeah.
are masters athletes.
Correct.
They are.
Well, yeah,
Those are
like-
the people with money.
Yep.
Oh, and by the
And
way,
those are the good members, too,
Yeah.
that are taking classes,
yeah.
showing up, paying attention.
If you want the people to join who need us most, who are those people? People with impairments. Those two classes of people, and I use the term class specifically because they have all the same anxieties and issues that the three of us have, but what they have
I don't have any
different,
issues.
what they have different from us is they go, well, I can't do that because of my age, or I can't do that because of my impairment, until they see someone doing it with their impairment or someone their age. Like my dad is 77. He started CrossFit at 75
That's
because,
awesome.
because his old ass son had been doing it for a decade, and he's like, if my kid can do this, I can do
Where's
this.
he go?
He goes to CrossFit Tupelo in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Very cool.
That's cool.
Very
He's
cool.
like, he's like the mayor of CrossFit, and he goes in and he works his ass off, and they love him, and he's fitter than he was 2 years ago.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. I would imagine. So, I'd be curious to see if you were to run the experiment. So if you were to steel man the argument, meaning like, hey, we would love to do that. Nobody's going to watch it. At which point, like, this is a massively negative ROI endeavor. I don't know that we know that. I agree with your sentiment. I also there's some truth to that. Could be like, hey, it's not going to get what we need in order to get the ROI. But I also think it's just like, I'm not really sure. Like, I'm not sure that ROI is measurable, but I do think it is significant.
I think you need faith that those of us in the community that have friends that forever have said, I won't do CrossFit because it's dangerous, will take that video from YouTube and say, hey, go watch this. Here's a 65-year-old grandma doing rope climbs.
Or muscle ups,
Or
or
muscle
deadlifting her
ups.
body weight, yeah.
Right now, don't get me wrong, I do know that CrossFit's out capturing that content, and they're going to put together some beautiful media behind this. And maybe that's the vision. And the real crime is that's what the press release should have said.
But also, it's nice day of for you to be like
Yeah.
your friends and family to watch you,
Like-
which is going to spread.
But I think to your point, like these are the conversations that I think are important because
Yeah.
they will hear that and they'll be like, okay, that's a communication error on our part. Let's try to clean that up over
look,
time.
You want to know the big crime in all this? Don't let a 50-year-old meme lord tell you this was your mistake. Like, seriously. Like, come on. This, like,
You're not wrong.
why am I picking this stuff up? Like,
Yeah.
somebody here should be figuring that out.
Fair.
You know, I don't know. I have nothing respect for them. And, like, I've talked to Don Fall in the last couple of days, and
Yeah.
he's brilliant, and he's a great leader, and they're going to do great things. It's just like I was joking with someone in the affiliate lounge a little while ago. I'm like, I feel a little bit like a battered spouse. Like, every time this happens, they're like, it won't happen again, John. And I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. Oh, don't hit me again. You know, it's like, because I know a month from now, something like this will
Something
happen
will come
again.
up, yeah.
And I think, to CrossFit's credit, although we've been relying on this argument, it's still somewhat new. And a lot of this is first year.
But at what point is it not new anymore? Like, let's be honest.
We're getting
like,
there. We're
listen,
getting there.
There's no bigger fan of CrossFit. Like, I am in
Why do you hate
on the
CrossFit
team
now?
forever. Yeah, I don't. But I do think, like, again, feedback, right? Like, it's part of the organization, part of Red Shoulders. Like, listen, we got to be able to give that feedback without fear of
And I do think,
reprisal, you know?
like John's suggesting, Don's listening, and hopefully a year from now, 2 years from now, it's improved.
I straight up said to him, you're keeping me in business. This is great.
Yeah.
I can create memes on this stuff all day long.
Yeah.
Like, it's great for me.
You guys are crushing it when I have nothing to post
Yeah.
about.
It gives me shows
Which,
for the
by the way,
podcast,
I'll
memes
always
for the
have
page, YouTube videos I can create. Like, I can create from all of this.
Yeah.
I'd rather create stories about my adaptive athletes.
Right.
But until you fix the games, I'm going to talk about the funny stuff.
Yeah, hey,
You know?
that's where it's at, and it's working, so don't quit.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Well, John, awesome to have you on.
Yeah.
Awesome,
Thank you.
We've spoken over the years to see you now as an affiliate owner, taking your level 1 in the future, continuing to grow, make Wods great again, hopefully hitting 1 million in the next couple. Because I would imagine there's that growth. You were saying 100,000 a year will continue to grow as this grows.
I hope so. We'll see.
It
That's
is.
cool.
Well,
But
thank
I also
you
think
so much.
I also think I think that levity that you guys bring in that community is like really important to keep everybody in check so that
part
people
of
don't
the
get
game,
too
yeah.
serious about themselves.
Well, I need CrossFit to grow for me to grow.
right.
That's why I'm
it's
pushing
no
them so
different
hard.
than us. We
Yeah.
we all want this thing to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they can fix this, I'll grow faster.
And if
Right.
they fix it, something else will break, and you'll still
make
have.
fun of
that. I'll make
you'll
fun of
still
that
have-
too.
There you go.
So if you guys want to get made fun of,
There you go.
there we go. Hey, thanks a lot, man. Really
All right.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
guys.
Thanks,
See you guys
John.
next time. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast. We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.